For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. As Will Smith and Martin Lawrence continue coverage all over the world for Bad Boys Ride or Die, the fourth film in the beloved franchise, concerns over Martin's health continues to grow as well. Fans had previously expressed their worries just last month after an interview with Extra's Melvin Robert, where the comedian looked out of it. Well, now a new clip coming from Entertainment Tonight shows the two superstars doing more promotion for Bad Boys, as it shows Will taking Martin by the hand and guiding him. This new clip has only got the people talking even more. After seeing the video, folks were quick to notice that something was not right. One user on social media would react to the video by asking, "Did Will just help Martin walk? The way it looks, Martin seems off." Another user would have a similar response and write, "I hope Martin is okay. Looks like he had a stroke. His motor skills appear to be off a little bit due to the way he led him out." While one more user would add, "I'm going to continue to pray for Martin's health and well-being." If you all remember earlier this year, Lawrence and the rest of the main cast of Martin would appear on stage at the Emmy Awards, where viewers quickly noticed Martin's slowed and slurred speech during his segment and offered their prayers. With everything going on with Lawrence, it has many asking the question if celebrities are obligated to be honest with their fans when it comes to their private lives. Now, just last year, Jamie Foxx would receive a health scare that kept the entire country on its toes. Fox, his family, and team were extremely private during the entire period. When Fox was finally ready to break his silence, he would admit that he didn't want his fans to see him in the condition he was in, still leaving the medical emergency he experienced a mystery. Joining me is our very own John Abba to discuss this in more detail.
What's up?
First and foremost, thank you for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
And I appreciate this. Is going to be a very interesting conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Let's first go to the reaction of this new clip that resurfaced, where you see Will, it seems as if he's kind of leading Martin out. What was your reaction to that clip?
To that particular clip, it was like, damn, like, okay, I'm seeing something.
Yeah.
Because we had just did a story maybe like a week ago before this new clip.
Yeah.
And it showed Martin in an interview, but it seemed a little off. Some people could have said like, okay, he was like emotional.
Grieving.
And it kind of like, you know, it kind of made you think maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
But to see kind of Will look like he's assisting him as if like Will knew something was up with him, but he got his boys back, it kind of made you think like, damn, I can't ignore this. Like what's going on with Martin?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It definitely looked like he was guiding him. Even when he turned around and was like slowly walking away, it seemed like Martin, when Will had kind of walked off, Martin was like slowly moving to not, lose step of where he was. So it definitely brought some concern to me as well. Now, there's this conversation of, and we'll bring up Jamie Foxx as well, because that was someone that happened recently who had a health scare, and people were watching and were having reactions to it. Do you feel like celebrities like a Martin, they're obligated to share what's going on with their audience?
I definitely think they should be obligated to share, because I just did an interview with Angela Means and we talked about this particular topic. And she kind of made up a great point of like, Martin made us fall in love with him in terms of like the brand and just who he was overall. And you kind of start messing with our emotions because we feel a level of attachment to you, because the whole game is a celebrity supposed to be likable and they're supposed to be trying to win you over. So when I do submit to that it factor that you have, and then when I notice that there's something might be, like for instance, we lost a lot of black male celebrities. So we lost Bernie Mac, we lost Red Fox on set. So when we start seeing like that could be a potential danger of like, are we gonna lose this person? I do think just from an emotional sense, we wanna feel like, let me know what's going on with you. And I have like some things that I do wanna pinpoint, but with that being said, that's my initial like thought. Like I do think they should be transparent about what's going on with their health.
Yeah, I would have to disagree. I love Angela Means. Love you as well, but I would have to disagree.
Fair.
Because when you use the word obligation, they're not obligated to do anything. And I agree, you want to be likable and all these things, but also too, we don't know Martin personally. We know Martin as a character. We know Martin in movies. We know Martin in shows. But what goes on in his personal life is technically not our business.
He's
Like,
a public figure, though, right?
He is a public figure. However, what goes on, because me knowing what's wrong with him, what does that do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I genuinely care for him, if I genuinely have these emotions, my thoughts and prayers are all I can offer anyway. So if I know your diagnosis, it's not like I can send you a doctor.
Well, I think let's assess too on why some celebrities or why the information doesn't go out there.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my issue is. I have two issues, right?
You said why it doesn't go out.
Why the information doesn't come out. Because
Okay.
it's not necessarily just like Martin just alone protecting his
Right.
privacy.
Yeah.
There's other factors involved, such as, you know, you got a team around them. And sometimes a team doesn't want the information to leak
Right.
because it might make them look bad too. If we found out that something was really going on with Martin, we as a public be like, yo, he should be sitting down. He
Right.
should not be launching a new tour that's about to come up.
Yeah.
He should not be
Comedy
on
tour,
this
yeah.
Bad Boy press tour where they're flying him around the world. He just was in Dubai. Like, those are things that they're gonna have to deal with. So there's a little bit of strategy too. It's not just like Martin alone, but then also let's just pinpoint that like it's kind of like it's like a double negative. One is you might have a team around him who wants to keep the bag secured, who's like, yo, Martin's the cash cow. We got to keep this thing going. We're going to keep this information private. But then Martin, to his own detriment, being a black man, you know, we don't take care of ourselves. We're not big on health. So he could be on some like, yo, I'm going to push through it though. I'm good.
Yeah.
But in reality, like I just said, we lost Red Fox on set. We lost Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
And the perspective with Bernie Mac was that I remember I did an interview with Reginald Ballard. He just felt like the industry worked him to death. And so I do think we as a public, we got to be like aware of what's going on so we can probably protect you more so than like just be thoughts and prayers.
No, I don't think there's a sense of, because there's still nothing protection that we can do. For example,
We would call them out though.
But call it out. You can call it out for what it is. You don't have to know the exact diagnosis, because I absolutely agree. I don't like seeing our artists work themselves to death. You know, recently I seen India.Arie come out and say, hey, this tour that I set up, unfortunately I can't go because mentally and physically I'm not in a place, but she went against her team. So, you know, there is some responsibility on Martin and his family as well.
Because we have a genuine,
we
have a genuine interest, I think, as the fans, to a degree where we want to see Martin do his thing, and that there's people around these certain figures that this is how they eat. So they might be okay with Martin saying, yo, he's going to push through it. Okay, if Martin's going to push through it, they're not going to push back because that's money on the table. So we as the fans, we do have some type of power about creating awareness. If we found out that Martin just had an incident and that he's barely like kind of getting through the day, we'll be like, nah, like we will cause uproar on social media enough that his team gonna have to sit down.
But we're causing uproar now, not knowing what the exact diagnosis is.
It's somewhat being helpful. Hopefully Martin's like, yo, I'm gonna go do some checkups. I'm gonna go.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think. Now, again, I think it's nice when an artist is like, hey, here's what's going on, cool, but obligated, like I'm not obligated to do anything.
Obligated is a strong word.
That's like, for example, you know, and I don't want to get too personal, but there's things about your personal life that like, you're like, hey, I'm not going to share it until I'm ready. You know, like where the scene was like, hey, John, what's going on? But you're like, hey, that's a personal part of me that's near and dear to my heart. So it's just certain things in your life that you don't have to be so quick to share it to people, especially when you're talking about like the entire world and people you don't know, like people's intentions.
I mean, my business, how I make a living is not off of this. This is just me more so talking about me as a brand. I build, I'm an entrepreneur, I do the stuff behind the scenes. That's how I make a living. But Martin is a public figure, and
Martin is an actor.
His whole brand
Martin
is creating a relationship with an audience.
And he is an actor. We don't know nothing about like
I
his day to
understand
day.
that.
I have no idea what this man does. I know Martin and in Martin the show. I know Martin in the franchise. Like I know Martin as an actor, a public figure, and what you show me for the public.
Let me say, because I want to make sure that we're particular. Like I don't need to know everything about my favorite actors or actresses.
Right.
But I am saying if there's something that we visibly see with our eyes, I think that there should be a code of like letting the audience know what's going on, only from a reason of.
When you're ready, though.
I understand. Okay, I mean that's kind of slippery too. When you're ready, could mean anything.
Because it's your life. It's like,
Because I could say the same thing too. I'm just saying that I
Right.
think the information should be disclosed at some point. That I'm seeing you, because what's happening is it's distracting us now from like what you're
you're
trying to
promoting.
present, your art. If I'm looking at the movie and I'm just thinking like, damn, Martin just said that line real slow. Now I'm like, I'm out of the movie now. And I just think that from a level of you guys want a relationship with the audience, but then you hit us with this fake Hollywood like smoke and mirrors. Because even Will Smith doing this press right now, he not even talking about the slap. And I feel like there should at least be an update.
Ugh.
Have you and Chris Rock talked about it? But you know his team. You know his team is like on some
Man,
like.
he apologized. Chris had a whole stand-up special.
But I just don't think.
What more do you want?
Keep it up. But I'm saying though. But all I'm saying is like, you know the game is right now. Because I've seen so many interviews. Y'all go on YouTube right now, and they just talking about like they just acting like it never happened.
Here's
Not
the thing.
one person can get
It's
the
not-
question in.
But the thing is like, what more do you want? Like, if I'm at a place where I've apologized, Chris has moved on with his life. Like, why do I need to keep? Because what's going to happen is every interview, that's what it's going to be about, and that's not what he wants to talk about. If I'm here to promote a movie, I'm not trying to talk
Can't
about.
nobody bring it up.
Man, stop. Now, okay, I'll bring an example because we mentioned Jamie Foxx. Now, Jamie Foxx's case was one that bothered me because I didn't appreciate his team lying. Like when they were like, "Oh, Jamie's out playing pickleball," and like
he might have been, but it might have been pickleball the way that we is envisioning. He might have been.
That man was not playing pickleball. My thing is like, if you're not gonna be transparent, don't lie to me. Don't lie to your audience. Like, oh, he's fine. Everything is great. Like, just say
That's that
right
Hollywood
now.
stuff.
This is, but that's when it becomes an issue for me when you're talking about being authentic with your audience and like all these type of things. You don't have to tell me everything because I'm not obligated to know, especially when it's as personal as health.
sure.
Or even when we talk about like, I remember when I think Chloe, one of the Chloe and Haley
It was she was
sisters,
pregnant.
when she was pregnant,
Right.
she wasn't ready to announce it. Everybody was like, "Girl, just tell me that you're pregnant." Like, you aren't obligated. We just want to
Right.
know. We're just nosy, and I'm okay to admit, like, I'm nosy.
Well, it's
I
part
would
of
love to
the.
know.
It's. I mean, you know, like I said, the word obligated is very strong. I do think that in the case of Martin,
Yeah.
it's because we can see it.
Yeah.
Just come on, keep it a buck. Like, just let us know what's going on because we really sincerely do care about you.
Yeah.
You are a big contributor to our culture, and I just think like, even like awareness of black men and health, there could be conversations there. Like I said, I just see like things playing out where it's like a double negative. It's a negative that this could be a black man who ain't really on top of his health.
Yeah.
Because Martin's 59 right now.
59.
And honestly, at 59, I don't know if he should be moving like that at that level.
Right.
If there's nothing wrong with him, I'm like, yo, you are a wealthy black man. Like, take care of yourself, eating good, clean food. I would get a personal chef. Like, I'm looking at Eddie Murphy does it like always looks great. Will Smith is damn near a couple years younger.
Yeah.
Right.
I look
And
at
so Will is like, you know, energetic. But why
Jumping off stuff.
But like Martin, why he gotta feel like he got these moments where he's in and out?
Yeah.
And I just think that as a public, it's not forcing Martin to like be up in his business because there's some things that I'm sure we don't know about Martin, but just in terms of if we physically see it on you, we're seeing it with our eyes. Let's not play that Hollywood game like everything is all good when it's not all good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I definitely hope, my hope and prayer is that he does, like, if you're at a place, and it appears to be at a place where you aren't able to move by yourself or, you know, zone out a little bit, whatever's going on, I do hope he has the team and the doctors around him that's helping him. And I hope it's not a situation where
He supposed to go on tour.
I'm just pushing through.
He about to go on tour.
Which, from the way that looks, I don't know if that's going to go through. But if he does, maybe that's where he's waiting to tell. I mean, he's a comedian. Maybe that's where he's waiting to tell what he's going through.
I think it's a little bit of the old timer mentality of Hollywood, where it was a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But I think in this day and age, information is coming out in real time, and we're gonna continue to speculate. When we see it on you, as we see now, a lot of people concluded that something is wrong.
I agree, but
And
I
so-
also think today's day and age with social media has made people feel entitled to other people's lives.
I can see that too.
So while I understand like the old school mentality, but there's something in the middle that has to work because even today people just feel obligated to, just running people's lives, and it's like this is somebody else's life.
I get it. I maybe will agree with you. Just there's like got to be a middle ground.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have to give us the details, but at least say, hey, like, you know, right now Martin is because
Don't go
when his team came out when he had that Emmy situation.
Yeah.
I think it's like, oh, Martin's better than ever.
And I think they said something like something was wrong with the teleprompter.
Yeah,
or
in
something
fact,
like that.
he's like
now, I don't like
doing,
lies
like
if that's a lie. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Martin, at the end of the day, has a team around him. He's gonna like listen to his team as advisement so they can keep their movement going.
And yeah,
so it's not just
like
it's not as like personal as I think we're looking at. Like, oh, Martin, I just want to keep it private. It's more like, how do we keep this bag from moving? Like, keep going. And the people around him gonna be like, all right, we're not gonna address that because this might set off an alarm for other movies that want to work with you. Like, there's like reasons why you want to keep certain things with your health as an actor quiet because that might slow up work.
Yeah.
But if he's down to play ball, I'm gonna keep it a buck. The people that don't look like him more than likely are around him.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have that same level of attachment that we do. So I do think it's fair to let the audience know what's going on with you so that we can give a genuine response and hopefully your team will have pressure to make the right decisions so that you're not, you know, something negative or bad is gonna happen to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely still stand on. I don't think it's obligated, but I do hope that this isn't. And I think what you call is like a bag chasing situation where you say, you know, we're in a culture of bag chasing and you know, trying to secure the bag. Well, sometimes when you're trying to secure the bag, you can lose things that are more important than the bag.
I mean,
so I do wish the best. I hope, you know.
I'm just saying, like, again, history repeats itself, right?
Yeah.
So we've lost a lot of black men and women, but a lot of black men in the comedy game to health. You got Ricky Harris, you got Robin Harris, you got Bernie Mac, you got Red Fox, you got James Hanna, who was a phenomenal writer, you got Tony Lister, you got John Witherspoon, you got AJ Johnson, you got all these black men clocking out because they were, you know, still chasing their dream, and no one was around them to say, "Yo, stop." So that's where my energy at is like, "Yo, just stop." Like, cool, we'll get another Bad Boys. Martin, we ain't got to see on the road right now. Just like figure out what's going on with you.
Yeah, and we'll support you. You know, if you put out a product, because you know money has to be had. So you know, if the audience is saying like, "Hey," I don't think
Martin hurting for bread.
I'm not. Well,
as a black,
not saying he's hurting, but
to be transparent, like I know I could take a much better care of my health. I'm a go-getter. Like I'm always on the grind. I'm always trying to make things happen. And it takes like the people around me, my lady, and like other significant people to be like, yo, like John, make sure you check in with yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so I know I struggle with that too because I'm a grinder, and I can only imagine at that level, Martin's probably the breadwinner. He's taking care of a family. Like he's taking care of college. Like there's a pressure on you at that level, I'm sure, as a man of the household to provide. But I rather much like him like safe and secure and like in good health.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Again, the people I mentioned, they were all kind of still moving forward, trying to do their thing, and then someone, you know, then we lost them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I hope he takes care. And I think I'm going to close out with this. You made a great point. He has a lot of responsibilities. We are the last of his thoughts of responsibility of like, oh, I need to tell them too what's going on. It's like, man, you have a lot going on. Like, really, I would love to see him pull out, take some time for himself. Like you said, go get checked up, which I'm pretty sure that he has. But really just take the time. Like, we love you. We're going to support you regardless.
For
like,
sure.
you don't have to be on these tours. Like, we're going to show up and watch Bad Boys. Like, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So I do hope the best for Martin and everybody that's around him. And hopefully, you know, maybe we'll get some
clarity.
Some clarity on what's
and just be real. And I think that's what my issue was. Just be real, man.
Mine is just don't lie.
That's what being real is.
But no, but you want him to. It's like, tell me now. It's like you don't have to tell me. I would prefer for him to be quiet.
You could put out a smooth statement. Hey y'all, I appreciate the concern. I am battling a few things internally or within the confines of my team.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the concerns. You guys continue to enjoy my work as I look to deliver them on the best way. Just don't play me stupid like I ain't see what I'm seeing.
Okay. So
that's what I mean when I can see it. Like you got to address that at that point.
Okay, quick question for you. Do you think if his team wouldn't have ever said for the Emmys, like, oh, he's in his tip-top shape, like, would you still feel like you're not being real? If they just didn't say anything, would you still feel like if they've just chosen to be quiet and not say
The
anything at all?
concern is still there because the emotion you feel for Martin, because he's giving us so much laughter and makes us feel so good. So when you see someone like that struggling with something, you're gonna naturally empathize and feel for them and feel attached.
Yeah.
So if his team didn't say nothing, or if they continue to kind of like gloss things over, I think we as an audience that really like love Martin really want to just know what's up. And I think that to me is a problem of like, it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You want us to feel attached to you so we can support you, but then you hit this game of like, well, I need privacy right now. It's like, nah, you wanted us to be locked in with you from this level. I do think it should be fair for the audience to let us know what's going on.
Yeah, well, I definitely wish him the very best. Now, before we head out, really quick, are there any updates for Hypers Club? Hype Club Monday.
Yes, Hypers Club members. I see those memberships coming in. That is very exciting to see. That's been a lot of good fun doing some BTS, giving you guys some exclusives. And guess what? We have Camille Winbush. Speaking of Bernie Mac, Camille Winbush of the Bernie Mac Show. Her interview is launching this week. So all our viewers, you guys will be able to see the clips here on YouTube, but all our Hypers Club members, the full interview will be live starting today. So make sure you get your membership, lock in. There's different memberships that I always mention, but that's the biggest thing with Hypers Club. Unfortunately, we had to address our thing, to be transparent with y'all. We had a festival planned in Atlanta that didn't go through due to a water outage.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a positive person, so I always think there's a reason for everything. It wasn't the time to pull the trigger on that, but we are going to be announcing a new date sometime this week. So if you're in the Atlanta area, be sure to come out. I'll make sure you guys see the updates going across social media. But man, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was.
That came out of nowhere. Yeah, I went down. My crazy self. I went down to the site where the construction worker is at, just trying to like.
Gauge.
Trying to gauge if this thing
is it real? What's happening?
My lady was like, just like shaking her head.
Bless your heart and bless her.
She didn't even know. It was in the morning. I just dipped out, and I'm like, yo, they messing my situation up. And they was over there. You know, I don't want to put them on blast, but I think sometimes, you know, leadership is important. I would say that much in that regards. I felt like there should have been more leadership that I was seeing where people were more urgent about getting it taken care of.
Yeah.
And so as a person that was really affected by it, it would have been great to see a little bit more urgency out of the whole situation of like, we're trying to address the matter. And that's a whole conversation in itself, given that it happened in a predominantly black area.
Yeah.
It was like in the hood where it took place. So I don't know if that would have happened in like a Midtown or a Buckhead area for those that know Atlanta.
Right.
Like if it would have been like no water in those areas for, I think, over 24 hours.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for
sure.
joining me in on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Do you think celebrities are obligated to be honest with their fans when it comes to their private lives? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. And get better, Martin, if something's wrong.
See that? Just tell us what's going on so we know if something's wrong or not.
Be with your family.
Wow, I didn't know that either. Enjoy this story? We got stories like this when you're a member at hypersclub.com. Being a member of the Hypers Club means you're the one to get the first access to these exclusive moments. The only way to see is to join the hype.